Hi, I'm Fish, and I want to talk to you about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, very timely, and that is the career question that a lot of people are struggling with right now, which is, do I go cloud, do I go code, or do I do both? A lot of my friends, colleagues, and peers, we've been talking about this for a while, and I've watched others struggle, and I've gone through the struggle myself. There's a lot of fear of missing out, fear of like, oh, I should have done code, I should have done this cloud, and wanting to have just the right thing on our resumes to make sure that we're marketable. Let's just be realistic about it. I could go ahead and say to help your customers, et cetera, but that doesn't necessarily talk to the fear. So let's go through this together, and hopefully I can help you through my struggle and the struggles of my friends and colleagues and coworkers as they went through this questioning. So cloud or code? When you see something like the Cisco strategy is to help customers connect, secure, and automate in a cloud-first world, it feels like, okay, done. I'd be an idiot if I chose code. So we're a cloud-first world, so I want to be marketable. I want to help my customers. I want to be relevant. I want to get promotions and raises, and so I'm going to pick cloud. Friend of mine went through that. He's like, okay, I'm going to pick cloud because I will be more marketable if I pick cloud. And so he dove into it, and he was like, okay, now I don't know what cloud service provider to pick. Amazon, Google, Azure, Alibaba. So it was like door number one. Okay, I'm going to pick cloud because I'm going to be marketable that way. And they open up door number one, and there's still more like, what cloud service provider? How are you going to proceed? What are you going to learn? So he decided to go ahead and learn code. He wasn't much of a coding person, so I guess he thought that there was one code that's used in the cloud all over. So he opened up door number two, code. And of course, behind door number two, found even more questions. Well, okay, what code do you want to learn? How do you want to proceed? Now, before we even talk about anything, what I am going to say is that we are in a cloud-first world where a lot of applications are the users and consumers using APIs to do things in the cloud. Our customers need us to learn this. Your customers need you to learn it. At the same time, the question becomes, what calls to you? What do your customers need? Your customers are also confused. This is a very new world for a lot of us. Where is their struggle? For me, it became begin with the end in mind. So as I was shifting to my traditional networking world, and trying to make this decision, I asked myself, where do I want to be on this cloud code journey, on this next journey, 3 years from now? Where do I want it to bring me? What do I want to do with it? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? What do I want to be doing? Who do I want to be helping? How do I want to be helping them? Simon Sinek has what he refers to as the golden circle. I'm going to say, before we get into the what service provider or what to decide and how to proceed, we stop and we ask, why are we going one way or the other? And that really shifted it for me. So when I thought to myself, where do I want to be 3 years from now or 5 years from now? And why am I making the decisions that I'm making? That really opened up everything for me. So let's talk about what my why was. So for those of you, I started in CPOC in 2001. And I did CPOC for like 17 years. So CPOC is we take environments, we go ahead and we set them up, rack and stack them, tear them down, cable them. It's like a 3-week cycle from start to customer leaving. A lot of putting code versions in, doing stuff like that. So I reached for code even back then. As simple as using Embedded Event Manager, EEM, to do clear counters at midnight every night. So I started reaching for code and tools in the toolbox to do scripting, load code for me, do other things for me in CPOC. So that was my why originally. I'm a networking person and I reached for code because I wanted it to serve a purpose for me in my networks and in my job. So that became my why. I wanted to use code that would help with my infrastructure and my network. So my why hasn't changed. It's just the location and some semantics. The network is now no longer specifically in CPOC in just physical boxes. It's in the cloud. And the code that I used to play with, EEM scripts and other scripts to load versions and stuff like that, that's changed also. So it's just a different platform where the network is, and then different tools in the tool belt. But this is my why. This is what I want. I want to learn how to use code to help with my network. So from that perspective, what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin with the end in mind and tell you that that's what I want to be doing 3 years from now, 5 years from now. I want to be building networks and helping customers, and my customers are actually you all, the field. I want to be helping my customers build networks, and I want to use tools to be able to build networks efficiently, scaling, etc. That's where I want to be with my cloud code journey 3 years from now and 5 years from now. So as soon as I figure that out, as soon as I figure my why out and where I want to be, working backwards is really simple. And that is tells me how to begin with my how and my what. What I'm going to say from your perspective is no matter which one you pick, you need to begin with the end in mind. Pause. Where do you want to be 3 years from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now in this new journey? How do you want to be helping your customers? What do your customers need? What calls to you? Why are you picking one or the other? I'm going to say don't pick it just because it's today's pretty shiny. Because tomorrow there'll just be another pretty shiny. So begin with the end in mind. Where do you want your cloud code journey to take you 3 years from now? Where do you want your cloud code journey to take you 5 years from now? Where do you want to be with it? What do you want to be doing? Picture yourself there. And once you know where, you'll start figuring out what your why is and why you're pursuing one or the other or both. Then use that to figure out how you proceed and what to do next. And that's it. Kick butt, have fun, learn cloud, learn code, just roll with it. Have just tons and tons of fun. If you don't think it's the coolest, neatest thing in the entire world to be learning this stuff, reach out to me personally and I'll share my enthusiasm.